so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get 2 strips and put them around this and leave the bottom. And then for the bottom, it'll be, I'll make the boot. So I'm going to, kind of like when you're doing what are those called again? A worm. And then I just flatten it out like this. And then you can. Okay, so let's do this one. I need my ruler. Where's my ruler? I know I have it here. Where did I put it? Is it over here? Is it over here? Oh, there it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take off. Let's do this end. Okay, and then I'll have to fix that. Let's go about there. Then I'll measure it here. Okay, so this is about 2.5 inches and 10 inches long. So let's see if we can get this on here. Might have to do I think I gotta do a little bit of a, just to, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna put it on like this. See this? I'm gonna take this piece off because it's, I'm gonna chop it off there. Okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is where the seam is on the little pail, I'm gonna go a little further up. See, that's perfect. That's a perfect width. Okay, and then we're just gonna wrap it around like that. Yeah, I don't put any glue on it because here's why. I'm not gonna keep the pail on there, right? Okay. So this probably works out to, I'm gonna trim some off. Oh well, I'll leave it like that. Okay. You know, I could leave the little pail in there. No, I could do that. I might do that. But what I'm going to do is, see there's a little hole. These pails have little holes from the handle. See right there? So I'm going to poke a hole through so that you can put a wire through there. So I'm going to do that. Anyhow, so I'm just going to do this, but I want to do some sort of a design on here. So like this, maybe I should bring it all up, eh? I think I might do that, just leave it on here. And then I don't want that on there. Let's see. This guy needs some hair. So yeah, we'll just keep doing this. And then any of the clay inside I'm going to take off because I want to put a piece after it is dried. I want to put a piece around the top, right? So this has to come off. So now the design, thought I had something here that I could use. What is it? I'm trying to remember now. The other option is I could put sparkly stuff on here, right? But for now, because I'm going to put styrofoam in the middle, right? Okay. So I'm gonna put this guy, I need to put him on something so that it dries. And also so that it doesn't stick to anything. So let's put him on here. And then I'll get this other one done, and then we'll go from there. That worked out pretty good. I like that. It's a new kind of boot. Okay. All right. What am I doing? Okay. Like this. Pull it out. Flatten it. I think that should be long enough. Okay. So the other one was 9 inches, and I'm pretty sure it's probably about an inch that I took off. So we need to make this a little bit bigger. Because I want to square it up, right? So we need to make sure that, so I'm going to make it 9 inches and see what happens. So let's go, see about right here, roughly. So 9 inches is there. So now we need to take this off. Okay. And then this one's not. Okay, let's try that. She's going good, but she's not okay. See, it's wider at one end than the other. So okay, let's see. So I'm going to take up a little bit. So now I'm going to try and make it a little bit wider. Oops. And then a little bit longer. You see when you have these in, it's not flattening it out at all. Okay, well, let's try it. Again, you guys, you go just past the seam here. Like that. Yeah, so it's a little bit more narrow, but that's okay. And then you just put it all the way around. And see. Oh, we got lots. So let's start with this piece. This piece is wider. So let's do that. I'm going to make it a little bit wider. I'm going to chop it off first off. Let's take a chunk like that off. And let's see if we can make this a little bit more even. I'm going to take these guys off. Because we don't need them on. Okay. There. Let's see what happens now. I'm going to try something. Okay. So, we're just past it. Yeah, that works better because it's like a little bit wider. And it'll fit better in between the, even when we're going to push it up, that's okay. And I made it bigger on top of it. Okay. So, let's chop it off. Okay. So, once again, we're going to, this one is not as thick as the first one I did. And I'm okay with it because the thinner it is, the less time it takes to dry, right? So, I want to get it all up top, up here, as much as I can, and then at the bottom. There we go. So that's pretty close, the same. Okay. So, there we go. There's the two. See, this one's thicker. But that's okay. We'll just leave it like that. I'm going to see what I can find. I'm going to put this back in the plastic. If I find my plastic. What do I do with it? I'm going to put it in the garbage, is what I did. Okay, let's find a bag. Let's put it in. Okay. I know I have a bunch of bags. Everything in here. Let's see. This one empty? There we go. We can put it in here. And then I think what I'm going to do, because we're going to put styrofoam inside the pail, right? So right now what I want to do, keep this out here, I'm going to put I'm going to take some brown. Put this down here. Take some brown. We don't need a lot. We're going to try and make the boot, the bottom, like the base. So what I'm going to do is I have, let's see here, I have my circles. So what I'm thinking, that's too big. It's one of these. So if we go, this one I'll make it a little bit. Let's try one of each. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, why is my clay so sticky? Oh my. That's unbelievable. It's not that warm in here to top it all off. It's cool in the barn. I wonder if it's because of the humidity, right? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make the shape of a boot. Is what I want to do. So, let's see if we can do that. This, I guess I should have put some oil on it. Anyway. So if we, but you know what we could do? This is what we could do. Okay. Maybe not. Okay, I gotta put oil on here. Sometimes you have to put a little bit of like it's just regular vegetable oil on your thing. Put it on the inside and the outside. So depending how thick your clay is, right? So we'll try that. See if that makes a difference. Oh, nope, don't want that all over the place. Okay. So I have these other these guys. They're like looks like they're all different kinds of little animals. Okay, and then these are all stars, right? Different colors. And then what's this one? Oh, this one's got like the peppermint, snowflake, and all that kind of stuff. This is Christmassy. I don't want Christmassy. But not yet. Even though tomorrow's July 1st and everybody's going to do Christmas in July. I'm not ready yet for all that. Okay, so let's get it. I want it a little thinner so that I can make, what I'm doing is making the base, but I'm going to make the base a little bit. So for example, this is where the one, and then you would have two, right? So they're going to get connected together, but one's going to be, you'll see right here. So let's get, I gotta get my thing out that can squeeze it out without me, my tools. There we go. This one. Wow. I can't believe that. I mean, we're going to have it, it's going to be covered, but still. Okay, that's one. Let's try another one. That one's got a little bit of space. Wow. Okay. But I got it. Right? I mean, you're not really going to see this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten it out a little bit. Right? I want it. This is what I want. Like this. So this guy will sit like this. Right? And then we'll put some green. Like the brown can stay there. I mean, it could be better. Because it's going to be the bottom of the boot. You know what I mean? And then what's going to go here, because you need to have it out a little bit, is you're going to take one of these, and you're going to go like this, but you don't want to make it too thin. You want it nice and thick, right? So for example, so then what you're going to do is take this guy, about right there, take that off, and then this is going to set right against, here I'll show you, right against the pail, like that. And there is we have our boot. So that'll be like the bottom, right? And then I'll put some green on top. But you see what I mean? So it looks like a boot. Looks like a boot to me. So I'll have to put a little bit of green on top. Right? Like that. I think that's going to look all right. What do you guys think? Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, and then I'll do the other one. Oh my goodness. It's got wet. Okay, this one doesn't stick out enough. this one's not as wide. So let's make him a little wider. But once we get the green on top, I'm just going to make them as even as possible. Okay. So you can always touch it up after. Okay, so that's what we got. Now I gotta have them so they can dry. What can we use? Here we go. Use one of these. But I want to do some design on the outsides. We'll use these for the. So I'm thinking I should put the ring around it, around the top. So get some. But I mean, I don't know what to use to decorate around the top. So what I'm going to do, get these guys out of my way for now. What I'm going to do is we're going to make the top of the boot there. Because we're going to have to let that dry before I put styrofoam in there. So we're going to let this. Okay. I just want to get this going. And then I think what I might do is get the top of the boot as well on there. Right? So that might help a little bit. So I'm going to take a piece of this. And we're going to make a worm. Yeah, let's make it bigger. There. You notice how I always flatten the one end and then the other one isn't. So let's see if this will fit around. Oh, not yet. This should fit around. Yeah. So we're gonna take the very tip off like that. And this is gonna be tricky, you guys, because it's still wet. So what I want to do is I want it to be on the outside, and then we're gonna fold it in. Okay. So we're gonna try and make it as even as possible. How did I do? Oh, just a little bit short. But we can stretch this out. I should have started this at the back. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're just going to fold it in like this. Right? Okay. And then what we're going to do is just go like this. There. Now, we need to take a piece of this. Let's say about this piece. Now we're going to do the other one. And then we're going to get this part here done. Okay? So let's flatten it out. Make it longer. Okay, let's see. Make it a little bit. It's not as thick though, that's the only thing. But that's the thin one too, so let's do that. Take the ends off. I just do that because it's easier to connect it, make it more even. Now this one I'm going to try and start it at the back. instead of the front. Okay. So again, so let's go. Should I bring you closer? I think I will. Bring you closer, you guys. Is that good? Okay, so you just see what I mean? You're just going to try and get it even all the way around. Okay, and then, oh, it's a little bit better on this one. Okay, now you're just going to tuck it in like that, right? And then you're just going to go like this. Okay, now we need to do the boot. So this one, you see the difference? I want to do some sort of decoration on it, but see the difference on the feet, right? So we need to kind of get it so that it looks the same as possible. And then what I want to do is I'm going to take a piece of this. Let's cut this in half. And then let's see. That's not going to work. Okay, so, excuse me. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. Okay, I'm going to go like this in half. And then what we might do is just kind of stretch it out some. Flatten it out a little bit. See if we can stretch it out. Okay, so then do it to this one. Okay, so again, you gotta stretch it out like this way, right? Okay, so these look pretty close. This one's a little wider. Right, this one's a little wider. So this one is almost 2 square. Well, I guess it could be 2 squares. Okay, so is this one there, right? And then they're pretty close to the same. So they're pretty close. This one needs to be flattened out a little bit on this side, like right here. And then I can just go like this, right? Okay, let's see. Here's that. Yeah, it's pretty close. So now I need my cutter thing again. This one. I'm going to use this one this time. And go in a little ways. Like that. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take this. I'm not putting any glue on it because it's not dried yet. So we're going to do this. Okay. I'm going to get this on there. And we're going to go like this. Right. Get it to stay there. it's a funky boot planter. A funky boot planter. So once it's dried and everything, then I'll do some decorations and everything with it. But let's see if we can get this to kind of. But there it is. That's the first one. Okay, now let's get this guy on. Let's see how this one works. I'm gonna spread this out so it doesn't stick. There we go. Okay, this guy needs to be pulled out too. Okay, so I'll get him on there. But you see what I mean? I gotta pull him forward, but I gotta make sure that it sticks to the pot part of it. So now we just gotta make sure that they're even. Guys, this is all an experiment for me. I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but you know, I'm not a pro. I'm teaching myself. Okay, so let's see. How do you guys look? This one needs a little bit of this brought down. You can wet your fingertips and then rub it so it goes in, right? So I'm just using my hands to just mold it in there evenly. Okay. I haven't made anything with clay, you know. Well, the last time I made anything was Halloween last year, I think, because I did all those pumpkins. Did I last year? Or was it the year before? Okay. So this guy. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna fix this because I just played around on it. Okay. There's that one. He looks funny. This one looks funny too.